can't stop but without asking about the health of your brother Paul Anthony, and then but also yourself.
Yeah. My brother. I mean, first of all, I'm gonna talk about his last because this is such a great field concern. But I'm dealing right now with a disease called retinitis pigmentosa, which they call RP, and it's deals with the eyes. It has no cure right now, and it leads to blindness. But I just try to stay proactive in everything I do. Right now, I don't have any peripheral vision. I just got straight vision because the way this is actually, it's almost like tunnel vision until it robs your sight with this disease. But I think in next week or so, I'll be starting a 2-week treatment with Dr. Rosenfarb, who's an alternative doctor, and he deals with Chinese medicine. And I'm doing this new thing called HBOT, which is the hyperbaric oxygen therapy, which is great for your eyes, and it stalls any progression of any more sight loss, until they find a cure for this, because I want to see forever. My brother, on the other hand, my brother Paul Anthony, he was dealing with mantle cell lymphoma cancer, which turned into leukemia, and he was a fighting champion. We still call him the cancer champion because he was always positive about it. Don't feel sorry for me, don't do nothing. And Paul Anthony's, the guy that played Stab in House Party, the leader. And when he was really fighting for his life, when things was looking bleak, that's when the doctors say, okay, you got to do a bone marrow stem cell transplant. Me and my brother B-Fine, earlier we had tested to see if we would be even a match for my brother if he had to do something like that. And I remember my brother B saying, I think I'm going to be the match because me and Paul look more alike. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, who cares? Whoever looks alike, I don't know. Whoever's a match, that's what we want. We don't want him waiting on a long list for a match, And I was his 100% match.
Wow.
I was his 100% match. He was fighting for his life. They said, okay, you, Lou, you're going to have to inject yourself twice a day for 2 weeks, and you're going to harvest your stem cells. So I would be at home twice a day taking Neupogen shots, which harvest my stem cells within myself twice a day for 2 weeks, just for my brother, because he was in the hospital with his immune system going lower and lower and getting weaker and weaker. So when it came time to transform my stuff into his, I was there at the hospital, and they were telling me, they said, listen, Mr. George, that's my last thing. Says, Mr. George, you have to sign this waiver. You have to sign this paperwork that we're about to do the stem cell transplant, but you have to sign. But first, let me tell you what could happen to you. It's a possibility that your spleen could get ruptured and you could bleed to death. There's a possibility that, you'll have excruciating headaches, and that there's a possibility that you could lose your life while doing this. There's a possibility, they told me a bunch of other possibilities. And then he said, okay, do you still want to go through with this? Do you want to sign? Do you still want to go through with this? And I said, of course I do. He's my brother. I would die for my brothers. Of course I want to still go through it. I mean, who wouldn't? And then they looked at me and the doctor said, you'd be surprised, Mr. George. Which means that, yeah, they've had cases where after they tell them tell them what to do this and do that, and they got to sign off, some siblings change their minds. I said, you trying to tell me they don't change their minds and don't go through with it, knowing that something could pass? I said, yeah, because they'd be so scared out of their minds. I'm like, wow, well, not me. I'm rocking in this. So I did it. So when I went in to stay at the hospital, they said, now, Mr. George, if we don't get, your brother needs 6 million stem cells. If we don't get enough from you for him, we're going to take a catheter to your chest and try to draw it out as much as we can to get to 6 million. Because they thought maybe I might have been too old and I wouldn't have enough. That's what they felt. But I fooled them all, including myself. I ended up giving my brother 9 million stem cells, and I became a conduit from God, from God, to help save my brother's life with 9 million stem cells. So you can call him bow-legged Paul right now. So he's 8-year cancer free. So
Wow.
so it was a great to do that, and I celebrate it every year, you know. So
Well, I did see the video that you did when it was, I think it was celebrating the 8 year, and I think that's, that brotherly love. It's not, I named my youngest. I said if I was going to have another son, I was going to name him Andrew, because I loved how Andrew looked after Peter. Like, you need to come see Jesus. You need to always, first thing he did was look out for his brother, and I actually, because I did that, I can see how my youngest son really loves his older brother and stuff.
wow,
And when I saw how you were talk about your brothers, it just brings something in me that, wow, this is not, it's not very common. As I said, we all love our brothers, but you guys seem to really show a love which is probably a benchmark for siblings to understand that, you may have differences, but it's you guys, and that's the one thing that, as I said, it always rings out. And the fact that you guys have been able to work as a partnership in the one of the hardest businesses on earth, the music industry, and not fall out over stuff like that, is a testament to what you guys do show is love. And I really really admire that, and it'll probably give me stuff to look forward to with my younger brothers as well.
nice, man. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I really appreciate the time and stuff. It's definitely would look forward to hearing and seeing you guys back on stage. We did see you and Lisa on DJ Cassie's Pastor Mike. But for me, it's been a pleasure and an honor to be able to hear your story.
Thank you, brother.
And especially, as I said, it's I've I've from the Jacksons, even Teddy Riley is one of my biggest, Teddy Riley and Michael Jackson, my biggest people I've support. But even within those groups, successful groups, money and the business separates a lot of people, and so it's really good to hear a
Yeah.
story of a family that have been able to do something successfully and stay tight, and then that's very rare. So that's been a really a change. My viewers would look and say, wow, this is not one of those sad stories that they got all their money stolen from them and their manager run off, and then because
Yeah.
I think 90% of my audience are probably used to that, and that's been hard for me to listen to, but it's been great to see your side of things.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
We like
But
that. And people say that too with the unsung. Even though my brother Paul went through the whole cancer journey thing, you had people like Mike Bivens from BBD calling us up. Yo, man, I hate to hear what happened to Paul, but damn, your body of work is crazy. And then Big Daddy Kane called me up. Lou, I didn't know you wrote Thanks for My Child for Cheryl Pepsi Riley. What? And that was a big record for us as well, about single parenthood. And just it's just been a great journey, and to look at the body of work and to appreciate it, because I definitely took, you take your own self for granted sometimes until you sit down and we're like, wow, we really do work with a lot of people in here, and we help put some bricks into this thing called hip hop and R&B, and so good working with Little Kim, and then us working with Nicki Minaj in the early days before she became Nicki Minaj was incredible. So we just keep on keeping on, man, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, definitely. And as I said, I'll be watching out for you. We'll be praying for you as well.
Thank you, brother.
It's sight or whatever. Health is, it's the one thing. It's really tough, because no matter how much money you have, the body is, we just, these are things. We've got COVID, we've got all this stuff going around. It's just a challenging time for all of us. I mean, my dad sadly passed away in December with COVID, and he and
Oh
this was,
man.
and he got caught it while in hospital being treated for something else. And so it's
Wow.
yeah, so it's been a really challenging year for a lot of people. But as I said, what we try and do is to say, look, it's been tough for us, but we want to support one another as a human race in the midst of these times and stuff. And so, you guys, your brothers, yourself, inspiration, even despite the prognosis, you're still believing and fighting, and then those are inspirational things that hopefully people can hold on to say, you know what, he's still upbeat, he's still working hard despite what might be before him and stuff. And so that's the inspiration we hope to take from this.
Yes, indeed, man. I appreciate this interview, and I want to tell people out there as well. You can find our handles on social media. You can find Full Force on Facebook, Instagram. It's Full Force World. I'm on Instagram as the Bowlegged One, the number one, and then I'm also on Facebook as Lou George. But what I want to say to your viewers out there also is, like, listen, even if you have a dream to succeed in music, and not just in music, but you a lawyer, a doctor, whatever you want to succeed in and do, you got to always believe in yourself. I mean, it's so easy to get down on yourself. Like with Full Force, like I said earlier, we knew we would succeed. We just didn't know when, because we believed in ourselves. Many times we'd get together and talk about, this is how our video is going to look when we do this video and that video. And one of these days we are going to get a gold record. And, to see those dreams manifest because you believed in yourself. And people out there, if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, this or that, stay positive and keep on keeping on. If a door is shut in your face, you knock that shit down and you go to another door. If you believe in yourself, your dream will come true to do anything that you can, anything,
Definitely.
And always support people. I never get into the thing of, I can't not support somebody. I'm not into the jealousy game. I have to support, you know what I mean? I'm not the crab in the barrel. I'm not that. You support one another. Don't be jealous of one another. Just support and act. And if you don't like the act, okay, you just don't like it, but no negativity.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, but most importantly, to press the notification bell so that you can be notified when we do have a new interview. Loads to come, but thanks a lot for watching.